And to shed more light on Egypt's role in supporting people in the Gaza Strip, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by our dear guest, Mrs. Haneen Abu Shanab, member of the Palestine Women Organization. Thank you so much, Ms. Haneen, for joining us. Hello? Hello? Ms. Haneen?
Yes, I'm with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Ms. Haneen, the Egyptian Red Crescent dispatched its 180th humanitarian aid convoy to the Gaza Strip. How do you weigh the Egyptian continuous support to the Gaza? And the aid convoy is, of course, the 180th convoy is carrying assistance to our brothers in the Strip.
Absolutely. It further confirms the solidarity of the of the Egyptian government and community with the Palestinian people and Palestinian land as a whole. The number itself speaks for itself. It shows the continuous efforts that Egypt is exerting, extending its hand to the Palestinian people as a whole. Again, the name itself also sends a very clear message. It shows the pride. It's not just something that we're providing on pity or just humanitarian aid. No, it speaks of pride and existence. So this is what we always expect of Egypt, and this is what they're doing on ground, not just talks or not just theoretical speaks.
Ms. Haneen, of course, our brothers and sisters in the Strip are suffering from very devastating humanitarian situation there. So, to what extent here the aid that we are receiving from Egypt and other aid is helping in trying to alleviating their suffering, and what more do we expect to happen in order to improve the dire situation on the ground?
Absolutely, it's dire, as you say. Egypt is doing its best effort, as we say. Because the flow is not seamless. It's very troublesome, and the limitations and the opposition from the occupational forces is very clear. The inspections, the security inspections, and the delays of allowing the aid to enter is obviously seen on live TV. So again, this is aggression, and these are limitations put in place to try to break the Palestinian will, and to turn us against the Egyptian or any community that's trying to support. However, Egypt remains wise and smart with the efforts, and very agile with their thinking as well. So they study the situations well. They try to be efficient and effective what's being sent, whether it's the medical aid or the food and basically everything. Actually, they try to see what's generically used in terms of medical supplies, and we've seen them curating teams that are very specified and very hands-on operational people to try to amend whatever can be amended and try to treat and operate in a very dire situations and very limited resources, actually, operating on people without any anesthesia and the basic antibiotics and the basic pain reliefs. We're talking about very scarce resources and very limited room or capabilities, actually. But again, they are people of strong will, and we've seen this by the Egyptian, whether it's the medical support, or actually people who are volunteering just to be there. Millions of people out there trying to be at least as a delivery guy, the truck drivers, the people who are working in logistics, the Red Crescent, of course. It's all speaking loudly of the support that's being exerted on all levels. It's not just the presidency, it's not just the ministers, it's the parliament, it's everyone. Everyone is acting as a minister, everyone is acting as an ambassador, a mission of diplomacy, and an actual people on the ground.
Yes. Ms. Haneen, Egypt actually has received thousands of injured Palestinians coming from the enclave as well. How do you assess Egypt's keenness to provide sufficient medical treatment and equipment for those injured, of course, after all the Israeli attacks against the civilians that took place during the past period?
Absolutely. Egypt has opened its doors, and all governorates actually have been hosting and welcoming multiple of the injured Palestinians over the past 2 years. Of course, Cairo and Al Arish have been the hubs for receiving such injured and للأسف very bad situations and very bad injuries that these people came with. Specialized teams have been prepared, specialized beds, rooms for operations and for hosting these injured people even after the treatments and the procedures that have been operated on them. Some of them have been redirected to other countries based on the situations, of course, and based on their files. So Egypt has been supporting this and keeping a very close eye on the needs of those who came injured and those who came along with them actually to accompany them during this very troubling and very harsh circumstances that they're living.
Yes, indeed. Also, Ms. Haneen, Egypt is playing a very important role and is always keen on supporting the Palestinians and to support the Palestinian question. How do you see the Egyptian role regarding these issues?
It never stopped. Since the firing, the first day actually back to 1947, 1948, Egypt has always been there, standing still, very steadfastly actually, hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder, along with the Palestinian people and land, of course. We've seen how strongly Mr. Abdel Fattah, President of Egypt, how strongly he fought all attempts, despite the pressure that has been exerted on him, despite the bribes that have been offered, of course illegally, to try to twist him or to try to pressure him or corner him into accepting the displacement of the Palestinian people, especially in the Gaza Strip. He stood very strongly, saying no, Palestine is for the Palestinians. Those people belong to their land, but they're very welcome to come here for education, for tourism, for treatment, of course, especially in this horrific situation. But they have a land to return to, and we will stand with them until they regain the rightful existence in their land. And this is what we see also in the Peace Committee, the Peace Summit that he welcomed, of course, and initiated and led in Sharm el-Sheikh, where, again, the resolution of the two states remains on the table, and he still remains fighting for it, along with his team, from ministers to parliamentarians to media personnel, to everyone, basically. The right remains. They're very much preserving the rights for Palestinians to remain Palestinians.
Yes, indeed. Ms. Haneen Hazem Abu Shanab, member of the Palestinian Women Organization, thank you so much for your precious input, and of course our continuous support for our brothers in Gaza is always going on, because we are always one. And we'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume our segments in Cairo local time.